And with us this morning, I believe the official title now is alternate governor and CEO of the Boston Celtics, Wyc Grousbeck. Wyc, good morning.
How you doing, Hillman? Where the heck are you?
I'm in New York. We had a little radio
You're zooming in?
Award
I
ceremony.
could have zoomed in,
I
guess. I guess I could have zoomed in, but
yeah,
here I am.
We are delighted you're here, and you and I had an interesting conversation the other night, and I think there's always around these parts oftentimes the bunch of wild speculation about who does what job, who has what share of equity, and so now that this deal has transacted, could you let us in a little bit on kind of how this is going to work out with this, maybe what you would call this new ownership group?
Well, it's new and old. There's 13 of us that rolled into this new one, so it's like, and there's 11 new ones, so we're actually it's almost like revitalized or a new roster, but with a lot of the same players as well. So it's really nice. These guys are terrific, and Bill came in. We spent the last part of the summer together, shoulder to shoulder, like we say, side by side, raising the rest of the money for the closing. So we did that together, the two of us, and so glad that everybody came in. We got it closed in August, and he and I are going to be side by side running it. He said, "I'd like you to stay," and I said, I haven't had a boss for 23 years, so I don't want to be like a jerk about it. Like I don't want this to sound the wrong way at all, but I'm just going to be totally honest, because you've just bought this thing, bought control, and I just don't want you to have any. I haven't had a boss. I don't know how I would react after, I'm over 60 now. I was 40 when I came in. It's like, he goes, no, we're going to be partners. Right. So we're going to do it. And like this, and they've asked me to stay for 5 years or more, honestly. So I couldn't be happier with, first of all, just the new group coming in. It's a group that wants to win deep down to the core. That's what it takes to win a bid for a team, because the numbers are so high and they're crazy. The winning bidders are going to be the ones that love it the most. Okay, they're not the ones that are going to be trying to get the best deal. And so these guys are the real deal, and I'm proud to be part of it.
Kind of like Greg, you don't have a boss either.
Well, I'm married, so I've got one.
That's a good one to have.
Yeah, I'm married.
When it comes to this season and wanting to win, Jaylen Brown is going to be a big leader for this team. What has he been like going into the season?
I mean, he's always been focused. He's always been, in every way, mentally and physically, like ripped going into the season. If you can be mentally ripped, Jayson is mentally ripped. I think Jaylen, I mean, I just made that up. But he's as focused, as ready. He kind of looks like a superhero out there, basically. And we got a lot of guys with a lot of, energy, juice, strength. We're flying around in practice. I'm really excited to see tonight against Philly, a rivalry game to open up the season. We'll see what happens. But I really like the squad. I like what Joe's got them doing. Joe's in attack mode.
How difficult will it be to balance the importance from an organizational point of view of wanting to wait on Jayson Tatum until he is fully healed up, plus and his desire, it appears, to be back on the basketball court? Like, I feel like he wants to play tonight.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Everybody knows exactly what's going to happen. We're not going to ever ask him to come back. We're assuming he's not coming back, and we're not even going to have any discussions about it. If at the end at some point he's going to be ready to come back, whenever that is, we'll get 5 doctors' opinions. We'll ask him how he feels, and then we'll all decide jointly, let's do this, whatever month that is, whenever that is. But there's no discussions in the meantime. I mean, he's expected to not be here this season.
Wiggy's been counting on him back in January.
Yeah, so well, that's what he said. So he said he wants.
I've never I've bet on Jayson Tatum basically since the day Danny brilliantly drafted him. We've been all in on Jayson Tatum, and he's one of my favorite people on the planet for everything he does. And so I'll never bet against Jayson Tatum, but nor will he be asked by the Celtics to come back early. That's not going to happen.
His videos of him, just like the way he looks, and it's just the excitement of like, wow, this guy could, especially today's modern medicine. But when you talk about this team, the one thing that I've kind of noticed, and, just some of the additions that you guys made in the offseason, a team that wants to play with a very, very fast and high pace, because it seems like a lot of athletes, whether it's Simmons, whether it's the new kid, Josh Minot.
He's unbelievable, by the way.
And so is that like the kind of look that we're going to see from the Celtics team this year?
I mean, the guy that's got the fastest up and down the court is actually Chris Boucher, who's a center. I mean, he's like a greyhound up and down the court. He's unbelievable. There's a lot of motion. There's people. That's what Joe. I mean, from the first practice at training camp, and I saw a bunch of the practices, they've been flying around like I've never seen in 23 years. So that's going to be exhausting. We're going to have to play a lot of guys, no doubt. Platoon them in, or whatever Joe was saying. So we'll probably play, I think, 11, 12 guys a game, and that's great.
Speaking of Joe, some reporting this week that the Knicks were interested in talking with him. Did Brad just laugh and hang the phone up?
Joe Mazzulla, the Knicks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave Brad to discuss that. But I think Joe's very happy to be. He's always told me how thrilled he is to be with his hometown team. He's grateful and he wants to do it forever. I feel the exact same way about my hometown team. Mm-hmm. Joe and I are two of the same right there. I'm not really Joe Mazzulla, I understand, but we're very similar in that way. We love Boston, and he's where he's supposed to be.
Wiggy brings up a lot of the new guys on the team, but Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, guys like that who made such an impact the last 2 years. How are they looking coming into the season?
They look really good, and Peyton looks ready to start, which he'll be doing. Derek is his usual unbelievable self. Look, it's training camp. Let's see what happens tonight when you start getting punched in the mouth by a very tough team, Philly. But I can't wait. I'm really fired up about it. It's going to be a different feeling. Mm-hmm. We're not the favorites, clearly. We're not anybody's pick to even barely make the playoffs or, be in the middle of the pack. And we'll just take that in and use that as energy and see how the guys respond.
And it's kind of been the last several years where the pressure has been preseason, at least, either the favorite to get to the finals, the favorite to repeat, all of that. This year is presenting something sort of like the 08 Patriots, where a great team losing its best player, and you'll see, they went 11-5. It was a good year, but not quite what they wanted. What do you think Brad Stevens is going to do this season that may not enhance the team right now, but is there the potential for deals that you could see that would be preparing the team for Tatum's inevitable return?
Well, it's possible. I mean, I think we probably have some roster moves we'd like to make either this year or in the off season. We're thin at center. We've got 4 good guys, but we lost 3 centers in the off season because we had to get under the second apron for league rules, basically. I mean, you can call it league rules. There's really no choice. And nobody will be over it for 3 or 4 years, period. It's just, you can't do it anymore. So we've got a harder cap than we used to have. So that position, but we've got 4 guys competing for it. And hopefully 2 or 3 of them really step up and we don't need to make a move. So I'm just saying, this isn't the roster we're going to carry forward necessarily. It never is. When we won it 2 years ago, Brad moved Marcus Smart and Grant Williams, tough guys to lose, and Malcolm Brogdon, and we got a championship. So, he does. I can't wait for Brad's moves when they come because, in general, they're pretty smart.
Help me out on the apron thing, because when that comes up, people go, "Well, you can spend whatever you like." Fans go, "Hey, you can spend whatever you want." Like, from a perspective of somebody who's been doing this and is doing it every single day, that impacts the future, impacts what you're doing, and it's from a league perspective.
Well, it's totally different now. If I can just jump, I think I know where you're going. Sorry about that, Hillman. But anyway, jumping in, it used to be, hey, what's your wallet like? Hey, are you wealthy enough to own this team? Hey, do you want to go for it, or you counting nickels or something like that? That's what it might have used to been because it was just a tax. Okay, now it's freezing draft picks, losing draft picks, not being able to use your mid-level exception, not being able to aggregate players in trades, so you have to find a one-on-one exact match, basically for your player, not being able to add a penny. So you're like right now we have a draft pick. I think it's maybe frozen or something like that. We can't trade it in 2031. We can't trade a first-round pick. That's just the tip of the iceberg, a frozen iceberg. The tip of it. It gets worse. Then it moves to the back of the round. And then so there's stuff that like GMs and fans, GMs for sure know this stuff. Fans will learn it, and they won't recommend it because it cripples you in the future. So it's basketball penalties. It's basketball penalties which you cannot incur. It's nuts.
Who promoted that? Was that what owners were the ones that were driving that?
All 30 of us.
Really?
30 of us. The idea is not to let someone come in from wherever with $170, $200 billion and buy a championship. That's not good for anybody. That doesn't
like
make
the
any
Dodgers.
Sense.
You mean like the Dodgers?
I'm not commenting about baseball. I mean, Wiggy, you should have grown up with a bat and ball in your hand because they have 15-year deals, $760 million deals for. It's like a bad marriage.
And it's all deferred money until they're all in their 40s.
But no, it's nuts. So we're looking for a harder cap because then it's parity. We've had 7 different champions in the last 7 years in the NBA, and we just signed a $77 billion TV contract because of it. So look, it's working, and that's the way the league has to operate. Let's operate on whether or not Brad Stevens is a better GM than everybody else, as opposed to if I'm as rich as Steve Ballmer, which I can assure you I'm not even like the letter B in his name, but we've won twice since I've been here.
Well, one of the things you bring up the parity, and it's interesting when I start to look at this, especially the Eastern Conference, and I know Tatum's hurt, but then I start to look at this team and some of the moves that you made, and I think that you guys are right up there with Cleveland. I think that you guys are right up there with the Knicks. And then it seems like it's wide open. And I don't know what Detroit's going to be, Orlando's going to be. And that's why I feel like, I have the Celtics in my top 3 this year, finishing in the Eastern Conference, because I think it's wide open, kind of what we see in football. There's not that one dominant team.
Well, now I'm glad I brought you the bag of swag that you requested.
It was
a gentle request came in from him. Yeah, we'd love to have you on as long as you bring Wiggy some swag.
No. Wiggy said that. I said I told these guys.
No problem, Wiggy. I mean, I'm a swag guy. I love doing that.
I'm always sporting my swag anyway. So.
I said Wyc would like to come in, which is one of the amazing things about you that's not appreciated enough. And Wiggy goes, tell him to bring some swag.
That's okay. No problem. He's a fan. Wiggy is a true fan.
I spent a lot of money in that pro shop downstairs at North Station.
The NBA model is actually, I feel like other leagues are adapting the max salary for the prime years as opposed to what you alluded to, $760 million 15-year deals.
Well, just wait for baseball. I mean, all the reports are baseball's going to take, a run at a hard cap, and that's not going to be. I mean, it's in the Premier League, everybody I know, and I know probably 10 guys who own Premier League teams. Let's just put it this way. Chelsea was just sold a couple of years ago. They have been losing $100 million a year for 20 years. I mean, that's just not a business model. That's a expensive hobby. So anyway, we're just trying to run our players are like the highest paid group of players in the world. We're splitting $14 billion with them this year. Our players are going to be paid $7 billion. It's working. We got plenty of money to go around. So we appreciate our partnership with the players, and we're anyway, the new rules just make it any team, any fan can hope that their team can probably get there with either this year or next year. That's the way we want it to be. It's better for the fans.
And you said the $77 billion TV deal that goes into effect with NBC. We see Michael Jordan, a guy that you've been partnered with in other ventures. What do you expect to see from Michael Jordan and his role on the NBC?
I'm thrilled. MJ's excited about it, and he's and I think it's really cool. I'm glad to have NBC back. TBS was great and all, but NBC, and now we got Amazon Prime, doubleheader Friday night, Amazon Prime. I think we're on that against the Knicks. It's a new world. We're going to streaming. We're going back to NBC, but it's also Peacock with NBC. It's just, it's the evolution of the sport. It's great.
Speaking of media, did you take in the media coaches game?
I did. I watched it from the cafeteria as I was eating some lunch, and I could barely even eat. I was watching those guys get beaten like 57-4, I think. So I'm surprised they let him up. Gave him 4, but that's Joe Mazzulla for you.
This is a boomer take here, but on the TV deal, any concern that you may price some fans out the more you go to different platforms with different games that everybody has to pay separately for?
Well, possibly. I think, Hillman, what you can do, though, is you can get stuff generally a la carte, okay? So it used to be the old cable bundle. You had to sign up, and that started getting more and more expensive, as we all know, those of us who have cable. So now you can have a choice if you want to watch a particular game, or pretty soon anyway. I'm pretty sure if you look at our streaming, you can buy by the game, by the team, or by the season. I think we're trying to make it just where people want to watch it on their phone, or wherever on the go. We're just trying to make it available. That's where people want. They don't all want to be like, where's my cable box anymore. Having said that, we do understand it's not cheap to watch these things or to attend the games. We try to keep our ticket pricing, below the street price so that you can always kind of get out of your tickets if you're, you can't make the game. We're trying to be fan friendly. We're fans who bought the team, and we've tried to do that, but we also need to pay our players so we can win.
Are there going to be more things that you do like Celtic City again? I know they're starting 5, which Jaylen Brown is in, but I think it's really cool to kind of get the behind the scenes of organizations, what guys go through. So is it, going to be something we see more moving down the road to, like you said, get fans into seeing something completely different?
Yeah, more short form stuff. That Celtic City, that was, I think, 9 parts. And that took a long time, and HBO did a really good job on that, Bill Simmons and all. And we're excited about that, and appreciative of that. But we do a lot of short form stuff. And the other day I was in a meeting. I can't remember how many billion views of media our social department had, but it's a couple billion views of the videos, and not just little 15-second clips of highlights, but like short form stuff we do. We do stuff with Shadow Lion, which is Tom Brady's company, and others. So we love doing that, and that's what we're trying to entertain the fans that way.
Celtic City was so good, and the history, we're old, but the history of the organization, and Friday night at the tip-off gala, you guys were honoring Chuck Cooper, who was the first black player drafted in the NBA by the Boston Celtics. And it's so interesting because there are that perspective of what was going on then in the NBA and what the Celtics were doing, I think is not known by some.
I think for sure. And when I came in even 23 years ago, I didn't know the story that we had the first black, I say we, I wasn't around obviously and can't take credit for it, but the first black player, Chuck Cooper, the first all black starting 5, and the first black head coach, Bill Russell. We're all here in Boston. I mean, I think it's a credit not only to those players who earned their way on and broke barriers, but it's also to Walter Brown, the original owner, and Red Auerbach, who came in 1950 and just stood everything on its head. I mean, I'm getting goosebumps talking about Red. We brought him back. The first thing we did in 2003 is brought him back to be team president. I listened to every word that guy said for the next 4 to 5 years, and then he did pass away, sadly, but I listened to everything he said, and all I try to do is, and I couldn't shine his shoes, but all I'm trying to do is do what would Red do in decisions when it comes to the Celtics. What would he do? He would put the Celtics first, and that was the biggest lesson I ever learned.
Never forget, Rick Pitino fired him, if I'm correct.
Well, I think that's correct. He's not walking through that door just like Larry Bird.
But when you talk to Bill, because you said you guys are partners, does he understand the magnitude of what this franchise means, not just in the NBA, but just in sports in general? Because there's only a handful of franchises, I think, that have that type of moniker when it comes to.
For sure he does. He grew up here on the North Shore. He had Celtics birthday parties when he was a kid. He's got stories about it. It's very authentic. He's the first potential owner that I met with my team, with Rich Gotham and Sully and so forth. And when he walked out last September, he walked out of that meeting. It was the first meeting we had pitching the team to people. We looked at each other and we're like, I hope that's the guy. He's the real deal. I wanted to bring him here today, but his schedule didn't work. He wants to. I'm sure he'd love to come on, and you can meet him yourself. But I will tell everybody he's the real deal, and I'm really glad he's here.
Wyc, the decision you made to replace Danny when Danny left with Brad was one that wasn't met with unanimous support. Would you say that's the best decision you've made in your stewardship as someone who's been leading this franchise?
I just was at a business school class last night or yesterday afternoon, talking about the Celtics, doing a little yearly lecture thing I do, and I actually said that was the best decision I ever made in the 23 years. So I guess I would. It sounds a little pompous to say that, but promoting Brad was the best decision I made the whole time, because I need a partner to be the GM. The lead owner and the GM and the coach need to be on the same page, the three of you, and we need to be partners. That's the way I have been running this team in the past. And the idea, then, you can say anything. You can say you're out of your mind. You can stomp out of the room. But you end up on the same page, and there's no hard feelings. You just get it done. Okay, that's the way we run the Celtics. I needed somebody in between me and Brad that would be a partner. I said, Brad, who's the list? Danny's gone. I know you and Danny put together a list of successors. Who's the list? I need a partner. And he read 2 guys off, and I go, I don't like either one of them. He read 3 guys off, and I go, I don't even know those guys. So no, the answer is no. It's not going to work for me. And I thought for a minute, and I said, Brad, actually, you have a brilliant basketball mind. You've been doing the draft and the roster with Danny for 8 years here now as coach, but you've been right there doing it. You did it at Butler and got to the NCAA finals twice. You know what you're doing, obviously. Actually, and you are my partner for sure. I think it's you. There's a million coaches. Let's team up, and then we'll go find a coach. And he's like, give me the night to think about it. I didn't even consider it. He didn't ask for the job. And the next morning he walked in and goes, "I'm your guy." And that led directly to 2024 because he brilliantly put that roster together. He said he's going to make some trades, and next thing you know, we got Holiday and Porzingis, and we're in the finals. I mean, he's unbelievable.
How does he balance, I guess, because he was a coach, and that passion for being on the sidelines, coaches that X's and O, coming up with plays, to then be, okay, now I'm building the team, but he must still have the love and passion for coaching.
I think he does, but he is such he's just really one of the most authentic, incredible guys. He's all in on Joe, which means he doesn't bother Joe. He'll talk to Joe, I'm sure, after games. I'm not in those conversations. I'm sure he's giving Joe everything Joe wants, but not more. He's not a shadow coach. That's just not Brad. Brad is like, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do it to the best of my ability, whatever the Celtics need. And you can never say anything. You'll never find anything out about Brad like you wish he hadn't done. He just does it right. And I think Joe feels very supported, hopefully by me, because I love Joe, but also by Brad.
Knowing what you're going to deal with Jayson Tatum this season, have you guys set internally an expectation? Like, what's your expectation for this team? What do they need to accomplish this season?
I haven't. I know what they're going to do. They're going to do everything. They're going to kill themselves to try to, win these games. I'm sure of it because that's Joe Mazzulla, and that's the guys I've seen in training camp. I've set no expectations whatsoever. I'm going to go tonight and see what we see, and we're going to find out together, all of us. I'm hoping to be pleasantly surprised, but I don't have any particular expectations. I want to be proud of the season when I look back on it, and I think I will be.
Many people thought the new ownership, the only way to take this to the next level as the people buying the Celtics at this price point would be to have their own arena. And so we've talked about it a lot. Obviously, I know you're happy with your lease with the Bruins. How much of a new arena was part of an equation in talking with the new ownership?
Zero. Or like 1 or 2%. We have a long-term, recently extended and very mutually beneficial, I'd say, very happy arrangement with the Garden. We're in there into, I think, the mid-30s. And so, but also there's just a very basic fact of life, which we're very happy about, by the way. Boston is an incredible town. It's a small town, and we're like the world champions, 13 parades in this century, right? So somehow we're taking this small town and turning it into the world powerhouse of sports, right? I couldn't be prouder of that. But there's no room for 2 giant arenas in Boston. Okay, not physical room, but there's not. You got to have the concerts. You got to make it work. So we'll go. Whatever we do, we'll do with the Bruins. I'm quite sure, and that's been a 23-year partnership that I've had with them. And if we renovate the Garden together, great. If we decide to do something to the Garden space, great. But that's not my concern right now. I'm just worried about the basketball team. And in the coming years, I'm sure everybody will get around a table and figure it out.
Well, Wyc, we could not be more excited. Thanks for coming by this morning.
Great. And spread some good cheer down for the Celtics in New York. We'll be down there Friday night, and that's going to be a barn burner as well. We got Philly and the Knicks to open it up. I want to thank everybody for supporting the team. And we've had a good run, and now we got maybe a little different year ahead. We'll see, but we're going to give you Celtics basketball, and I hope you like it.
We love it. And good to know. And you said maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, like you're around for the
I don't know.
long haul.
I'm just going to be one of those guys hanging on. Like I'm like George Blanda, or whatever, if you remember him, like 50 years old, he's trying to kick field goals. That's probably going to be me. Right?
You still got them good seats, so.
Yeah.
I'll be there. Is that now he's asking for seats.
Oh, he's there. He's going tonight. He'll be there tonight.
Hey, I didn't go as a kid, so I couldn't afford it. So now I try to take advantage.
And Greg
of
is
it.
the George Blanda of radio.
Right.
He's basically 100 and he's still there.
Right, exactly.
Wiggy's hoping for the new cities. He'd like the new city. What do you think of the new city uniform?
I love those
There's
things.
No
I love
green
those.
in it, I don't think.
That's
for
okay.
the first time.
That's
okay.
okay.
Right? Yeah.